Okay, so I want to introduce you to our presenters, okay? So we have Mrs. Isabel Camacho Black and Ms. Brenda Rengwood. So I'm going to get a little bit of their information. They're going to go over and tell you everything what they do, okay? So they're from Becoming the Best You, BTBY. Youth Experience. Isabel Luz Camacho Black, intentional healer, and he's the co-host of the BTBY TV show. Brenda Ringwood, Professor of Change, is the founder of BTBY. Please welcome Ms. Wood and Ms. Camacho Black. Thank you.
Guys, how are you? Appreciate that. Welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. You all look beautiful, first and foremost. Yes, you do. Absolutely. Even the nice young man back there. Everybody's beautiful, right? So what is BTBY? What is that? Well, what are you? Do you know what you are? You know who you are? It is a movement on becoming the best version of yourself. Isabel is actually from here. She lives in Kansas City, but we might first start with a little bit about her, and then we'll kind of take it from there and see what you guys think about you becoming the best version of yourself.
So as you mentioned, we work with a movement called Becoming the Best You. And again, what that means is we all were made with great purpose. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of time, or maybe some people to help encourage us to figure out what that purpose is. And that's what we like to do with Becoming the Best You. Not tell you who you are, but help provide a nice space for you to help do some shadow work over within yourself, figure out who you are. And we like to help you take the next best step into the life you want to live. So with our talk show, we interview ordinary people, because even all the millionaires, all of these people who are running corporate businesses, people who are doing extraordinary things in life, at one point or another, they were just like you and I. They were not necessarily knowing where they were going in life or what opportunities were going to be coming up. So we are here to help just inspire people by sharing stories and letting you know that we are all the same. We all have the similar fears, similar wants. We want to feel peaceful and happy, and we like to provide a safe space for that. With the talk show, we interview people, like I said, who are ordinary, but they're doing extraordinary things in life, and that also looks very different. For you guys, that could look like somebody who takes the time when there's a new kid at your school to not let them sit at the lunch table alone. That takes somebody in your guys' setting who is struggling academically, and you know that's your strength. You're not struggling academically. So you go and tell them, offer your services, offer to help. This is my strength. Let me help you with your weakness. And you'll find usually that they have a strength that is probably your weakness, and that's where coming together and working and moving together in life is very important. So that's one of the things that we do. I also have a movement in Kansas City called Activate Your Power Now that works with Becoming the Best You. And what that is activating the story within you. We all have a story, guys. Even in high school, even when you're young, you have a story. And I believe that sometimes what happens with us, what keeps us sometimes from chasing our dreams and our goals, is because we have a story. Sometimes those stories become weights, and we carry shame with our story. I'm here to help you, or Izzy the Intentional Healer is what I provide. I'm here to help you to find your story, own your story, and use it as your power to navigate anywhere in life you want to go. I don't care if you want to be my son, I have a 24-year-old, and his goal is to make a pooper scooper business. Go around and get paid to pick up poop. How silly does that sound? How silly does that sound? But you know what? He's willing to go out there and follow his dream of what he wants to do regardless of what people say. And that's where I'm here to inspire you, to follow your dreams regardless. So that's a little bit of what we do with Becoming the Best You, and me as Izzy the Intentional Healer. the professor of change, Miss Brenda Ruby Wood, I'm gonna let her go ahead and come up and give a little bit about herself. Because she goes by the professor of change for a reason. It's not just a nickname we gave her, she gave herself. And I'm gonna go ahead and let her tell a little bit about what she does.
So I'm the old lady, right? You guys are thinking, oh my goodness, what's this old lady got to say? Well, I'm the old lady that has a story. How many of you guys heard the story, I'm the little lady who lives in a shoe? No, sure, I didn't know. Well, you know, there was a little lady who lived in a shoe, she had all these kids and all these things, but I was the old lady whose life was a zoo. I made bad decisions that ruined my life. And my choices left me living in fear and strife. But I realized I needed to take control. So I looked in the mirror and I studied my face and I said, that's not your place. This is where you need to be. So I decided that I needed to start becoming the best version of me. Do you guys know who you are? You know what you want to do? What do you want to do? Fashion design, how about you? You don't know yet? That's okay. How about you? No? You? Nobody knows? Okay. Well, when I was your age, the majority of you guys are freshmen and sophomores. What are you?
Senior.
Senior, both of you? Okay. So you're getting ready to go into bigger and better things real quick, right? And the age, at the age of 13, I was a drunk. I went through my high school years drinking in class. I'd stop at the locker and get a drink. I was living my life out of fear because I didn't think I had a value, didn't think I had a worth, and I didn't think that I fit in, and I thought that I needed to. But see, the main thing that you need to do is okay to know that it's okay to be you, to be you. How many of you guys are going through something right now? It's okay to admit it, but we hide it. We don't want to admit that things are going wrong in our life. But it's those choices and those sacrifices that you're making that are going to create the person who you're becoming. So what I want to know now is, in a perfect world, money wasn't an object, family wasn't an object, friends weren't a concern. Who are you? And what do you really want to do? You see, I went on to become a biologist, but I didn't get my education until I was 32 years old and went back to school at 32. It took me 8 years to get that degree because life happened. I had kids, married, had a business, life got in the way. So this is all about higher education, right? Do you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna go on to college?
Me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then,
Here?
no, EPCC.
Okay, and what is it that you're gonna study?
I'm gonna get my law enforcement certification.
Very
so
good.
that's easy.
Very good. So the thing that I want to stress to you guys is you don't really know where you're going, and that's okay. And if you do know where you're going and you head a different way, that's also okay. But what I want to tell you is this: you are the future. What do you want to do? You're the future. What do you want to do? In a perfect world, what do you want to do? Okay, well, we're going to decide that, right? You guys are the next cures of cancer. You guys are the next scientists. You guys are the next rocket ship to space. But unfortunately, some of you guys are also the next felon. The next drug user. The next person who's going to be divorced or pregnant next year. The next person who is going to have trouble and trial and trauma. The next person who might lose a loved one. You never know what tomorrow's going to bring, right? And we're going to talk through some things that's going to help you to see that it's okay to be you. That it's a choice, and you don't have to make those choices to fit in. You don't have to make those choices to be who your parents want you to be, who your teachers want you to be, who Isabel wants you to be, but to be who you want to be. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Izzy for just a minute because she is a perfect example of becoming the best you.
So again, I give you a little bit about what I do now. Okay, so I've been going by Izzy the Intentional Healer for the last 2 years because I had an awakening. And I had an awakening in accountability. And for me, I was in my 40s. So I had to start figuring out where I was in life and why I wasn't happy. And it took me really going back to when I was a child. I had to take it all the way back to figure out why I wasn't content in my life and things weren't going the way I was working so hard for them to go. As I reflected on my life, I'll tell you that I'm here from El Paso, Texas. I live in Kansas City now, but I was raised in El Paso, Texas. My family is from El Paso and from Chihuahua. I went to school in Socorro. I went there for first, second, and third grade. I moved to Northeast and went to Stanton Elementary and McGoffin Middle School. Doing from fourth grade, obviously on through middle school. And I come from a very troubled background. My father was a drug trafficker. So although he had a career, he was in the Air Force, he was an MP. When he got out of the military, he was working at the Air Force as head security. But he just couldn't leave that life behind of trafficking drugs. It was deep-rooted for him. So, me being his youngest at the time, I was raised in that environment. So by 12, I was being taken over the border and I was partying in Juarez. I had a fake ID and I was living a very fast life, not a life a child should be living. I was being groomed to cross drugs over the border on my body, right? Because I was the youngest in the family, so I would be the one to pay the less consequence if I got caught. So again, not being guided in the right direction, being guided into a world that I was just birthed into. But through all of that, even though I was doing the motions and making my family proud and being what they wanted me to be, something within me kept saying, you're worth more. You're worth more than that. Sure, that's the road that's paved for you, but what if you could pave your own road? What if? I was a kid. What if? Because I always felt that feeling inside of me that that wasn't gonna be my forever world. I had no guidance to what I wanted to be or what road I wanted to pave for myself. So I had to start. What led me to move to Kansas was because I got pregnant at 16. So I'm jumping the gun, guys. I'm sorry. At 13, at 12 I was clubbing in Juarez. At 13, I caught my first charge. So 13 and 14, I was, for that year and a half, I was in and out of the detention center probably 5 times. To where they finally started asking, who is taking care of this kid? Who is taking care of her? And there was nobody there to answer that call, right? My mom was locked up, my sister was locked up. There was nobody here to take her. So they decided they were gonna send me away to a girls' correctional farm till I was 19, 18 on good behavior, and I was 14 years old. Considering the life I was living, I didn't want to live that life, but I knew that this correctional farm wasn't going to be what I needed. So again, following that inner voice, I found a way to escape before they sent me away. So I never got sent, but I couldn't hide forever. So I had to eventually turn myself in. And they gave me one more opportunity to do something different with myself. But it had to be out of the state of Texas. So they sent me to an aunt and uncle right outside of Chicago, Illinois. And I went there and I changed my environment. So it was easy for me. I didn't use a drug, I didn't drink, I did really well. I worked 2 jobs there. But my family didn't. My family was still involved in that world. They weren't doing well. I was doing better, so they put a guilt trip on me. So I came back home to help them. Fell right back into selling drugs with my mom and my sister. And I just felt like I couldn't escape that lifestyle. No matter how much I wanted to, I could not escape it. Well, I became pregnant at 16. And that for me, I didn't know what to do with myself. But I knew I didn't want my child to have these same struggles as me. So that's what led me to move to Kansas to raise my family. again, I did great. I have 3 grown-up kids. I've been married for 19 years next month, and we've been together 24 years now, so things have gone well. Sometimes you can get lost in when I got lost in things going well, because what I did was I left everything behind, went to create something new, but I never acknowledged my pain and my everything that I had gone through. I never visited it and unpacked it and said, again, moving on, I've done great things, but I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. And it took me looking into my childhood, looking into how I was raised, the things that were instilled in me, the fears, those were the biggest thing. The fears that were instilled in me, that I couldn't do better, my family needed me. I couldn't do better, I couldn't leave, I couldn't, and I started really unpacking, right, all of my belief systems, and I realized that all the belief systems that I was living by weren't actually my belief systems. They were things that other people were putting on me. People were telling me who I was. People were telling me what I was capable of doing or not capable of doing. And I thought I was smarter than I thought I wasn't attaching all of that to myself. But when I took the time to start doing work within myself and figuring out who I was and why I am who I am, I realized I still had a lot of attachments on me that did not serve me in any way. So again, I'm going to take you back to being an intentional healer. All that means is that I decided to love myself first. I decided to go within myself and say, you know what? I'm not happy in this area, I'm not happy in that area. And then once I figured out where my unhappiness was, I had to start breaking that down. Why am I unhappy? Why is this causing me to be unhappy? Again, I promise you, when you start doing that, you will find that the majority of the reasons that you feel lost or unaccepted or unloved or alone or all those things, it's typically because there's an attachment someone else placed on you. So that's what I'd like to come challenge everybody, all of you if I could. And it's a challenge of going within yourself. Going within yourself, figure out who you are and why, and then use it. Use who you are unapologetically. Use it to create the world you would like to create. So, again, I'm going to hand it over to Bren, but I'd like to let everybody know that if you want to go more into depth with that, I would love to connect with anybody who would love to connect with me one-on-one, and I'd love to work with you.
So I apologize, my allergies are super bad down here in El Paso. I don't know what it is, but you guys have different things than I do in Kansas City. So what do you see when you see me? What do you see? Come on, let's talk. What do you see? What do you see?
I'll go first. A woman.
Okay, what else do you see? What do you see? Do you see that drunken liar? No, okay. Do you see a grandmother?
Possibly.
I have 4 grandkids, yes. I have 4 adult children. I've been married for 35 years. But I also stand before you as somebody who did 4 years in prison. Do I look like that person? Would you have expected that? Do you think I met when I was young? What do you think? Think I went out of high school? When did I go?
20s, maybe?
20s? Okay, somebody else? Come on. Interactive.
Okay, she won't be offended if you say you're at older age.
I went to prison at 46 years old. Can you believe that? So see, what I'm trying to tell you is choices don't stop. You gotta continue to make those choices. Very successful in business. 300 employees at a time, thousands over the years we employed. Numerous businesses. But I got involved with the wrong people. And the very thing I told my children not to do, I was doing myself. And it landed me. At 50 years old, I walked out of a prison and had to start my entire life over. But you know what I did have? I had my education. I already had that degree. I already had that experience. And I got it because I knew that maybe that day I might have to use it. Why would you get a degree? Why are you here right now? Come on, why are you here? Somebody's gotta have some answers. Why are you here? Scholarship, you could. For what? For school. So I got to thinking, my dad has 2 master's degrees. He's a retired Army colonel. Fought in Vietnam, he's a Green Beret, best of the best, right? I'm an only child. So I had a very strict upbringing. Then he says, you gotta go to school. If you're gonna live at home, you gotta be in school or you gotta be working full time. I hated school, didn't like to go. So I got married and did the family thing first. So now the business is very successful. My dad's got 2 master's degrees. I told you that, 2 master's degrees. I said, I'm gonna go back to college. He says, why? You already have a business. That's just a waste of time and money. I said, what if I get sick and I can't be self-employed anymore? What if something happens where I have to go get my job? And that's exactly what happened. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2011. Maybe now I could go work in a lab if I needed to because I have that degree. But what the degree did for me was gave me my confidence because I was able to finish something. I was able to follow through with something. And it talked to my employers who might hire me, because even self-employed, you still have clients that hire you, that I have a value. And that's what we're getting ready to talk to you about right now. How many of you guys have a job? You have a job? You had to apply for the job, right? What was that process like? But you still had to apply for the job, right? You had to fill out an application, you had to go in for an interview. You had to, anybody else have a job? You? Hey, what was your process like? Was it nerve-wracking? Was it scary kind of? Yeah, because you're in competition, right? So your degree, first things first, sets you apart from your competition. You stand out because you have finished something. That doesn't have to be the degree to fill the job in. So Isabel and I are going to talk you through some things. We're going to do some role playing on what it looks like, because you guys should all go have good jobs. You're old enough, go get a job. Babysitting, mowing lawns, go to McDonald's, whatever. Don't worry about the job. Go get that job and get that experience. It will keep you grounded. But I want to teach you how to apply for that job, how to look successful, and how to be yourself, most importantly, with respect. There's the key.
So we're gonna do a little role playing with you and give you a couple scenarios of what it may look like as you go start stepping into the career world and putting in these job applications. Right now as high schoolers, probably the jobs you got, maybe they're not as competitive as where you're going once you become an adult and go out there and try to find a job that's going to support your family, get you the houses and the vacations and all of that that you desire to have in your life. So we want to give you a couple different scenarios of what applying for a job and going through the hiring process may look like. And
So I'm going to be the employer. Isabel's going to be you.
hi, I'm here. My name is Isabel Black, and I have an interview.
Hi, I'm Fred. Nice to meet you. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I guess I'm just, I don't really know much. I just need a job is really what I need. I have a lot of responsibilities and I'm just looking for a job. I don't really know what to tell you about me. My name is Isabel and I'm just really just looking for a job. Can you help me?
What hours can you work?
Well, I don't really know. Let me figure out. I guess I'm only available really for a couple hours in the morning, and I can't do weekends.
Well, you do realize we don't open until 11 o'clock.
Well,
And
I just really need a job is what I need. Is there anything I can do so that I can maybe get a job here?
do you have any references? Did you fill out your application? Because I don't see you anywhere in our system.
Well, I went online and tried to fill it out, but I couldn't understand, so I'm just coming in here so I can talk to you because I just really need to get a job.
Okay, well, we do have applicants that are already applying, so I'm gonna give you this paperwork,
Okay,
because I don't see the system. Once you go over here and sit down and fill it out,
okay,
and then I'll be right back.
okay.
What did she do wrong?
She wasn't confident.
She wasn't confident, that's right. What else did she do wrong?
She just says she needs a job, but she doesn't say, like, she doesn't share her skills, so she doesn't show that she needs the experience and why she's asking for the job.
She didn't commit either, did she? No commitment. So as an employer, would you hire her? Okay. Could she have been a great employee?
No.
She probably could have been. But would she have been given that chance? Okay, so now we're gonna do a different scenario.
And I know tattoos are, I don't see too many tattoos in here right now, and that's good, but I got my tattoos at 13, I had all my tattoos at 15. So imagine me when I was ready to be, change my life, and I was a mom, and I'm trying to go in and have people take me serious. I forgot I had it, it's just been a part of me for so long, but you better believe when I walked in there, they weren't looking at me, they were looking at my tattoos, they were looking at my confidence, they were, so all of that does matter. I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out. So again, I moved to Kansas, and I was just happy I was in another opportunity, right? I wasn't, where I felt so stuck in El Paso. And that was just at a very young age, how I viewed it. But I had to learn. I was like being offended every time I would go somewhere and people would just stare at my tattoos and look at my kids because I was so young. So immediately I was judged. But what I learned was that I had control over that. Sure, I have tattoos, but why not put a jacket on if I want someone to take me serious if I'm going into a job interview? It's those little tweaks that we don't think of that will help us enter doors that we otherwise wouldn't be able to enter because of other people's biases. It's what it is. They're going to judge us, guys. They're judging us now. But you have to become your #1 fan. Know who you are. Know that you're here for something bigger. And I promise you, any door that you ever want to open will open. There is also trusting the process. So let's do this over. Hi, Brenda. You must be Brenda. I'm
Nice
Ms.
to meet you.
Rockwell.
Thank you for being on time.
Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure to be here. I couldn't wait to show up and meet you in person, and I'm so excited about this job opportunity you have given me. I really feel like I'd be a great fit. I can't wait till we get on with our interview.
Well, tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I am a 44-year-old mother of 3 and a wife. I devoted a lot of my time to making myself better. I've had a lot of goals in life, but to be quite honest with you, Brenda, I kind of got in my own way. And I'm here with a new purpose, and I'm here to help make your business. I raised my family, and I just developed this passion for helping people. So I just know that I'd be a great fit for your movement, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
How flexible are you for hours because there's travel involved?
Well, I looked into the job description, and I looked into what was going to be required of me, and I am ready to go. I'm ready for the travel, and I'm very flexible. I made sure, because this job was that important to me, I made sure to do my work, and I made sure that I was going to be capable of what was going to be expected of me. So I'm here and I'm ready.
So now what did she do right? She committed. And then what? Yes.
She showed interest in the job by looking into the description.
She researched the job, bingo, and then she committed. She knew she wanted the job before she even came. That's huge. What else did she do? Confidence? Yes.
Confidence will get you way more than probably a lot of other things. For me, again, believe in yourself.
Yes.
Don't wait for other people to believe in you.
And don't mistake confidence for experience. You can be inexperienced in the job but still have confidence that you want to learn, that you want to show up.
I have a great story on that. Again, you heard a little bit about my past. I want to plug this in because one thing that was very important to me to get to where I am now, even though I was lost and I didn't know what I wanted to do, while I was raising my kids and stuff. What I did do was take advantage of any and every opportunity that was put in front of me that was for free for me to better myself in my education. So I didn't go to a 2-year college or I didn't go to a 4-year college, but I was had the opportunity to get an associate's here, an associate's there, just so I can continue moving forward and continue growing. So if there's opportunities, just like the Upward Bound program or any other program that comes your way, please, I beg you to take advantage of it. You will thank yourself later, I promise. So with all of that being said, I found myself at 30 years old being a corrections officer. I worked in a jail and I got to work with inmates. I did not have a degree, okay, I didn't have a criminal justice degree like most of the people that were working there. And I remember at the beginning when I started the job application, I was asking myself, why would they hire me? Why would they hire me? I was a juvenile delinquent. So again, it was a job that I went into unqualified on paper, but what they didn't know is that I can connect. And they saw beyond the fact that I didn't have that degree in business in that situation, and I was able to get the job. Now, I remember being in the hiring process and them giving me scenarios and saying, well, if this happened and this inmate did this and this happened, what would you do? And with officers and high-ranked police officers and stuff. So in my mind, I'm like, well, shoot, here's where they're going to get me. I don't know what I'm going to do if that happens. How would I know? I've never been in this job. Didn't even go to school to help prep for what may come with this type of job. And you know what I did? I held my head up high and I said, you know what? I'm a quick learner. I said, I'm sure that I will be trained once hired in what to do in that scenario, and that will be the policy that I will follow. So again, don't ever feel like you're lacking when you're in job interviews. If they ask you a question you don't know, because they're going to try to trip you up, just to see how quick you think, or how do you recover, how do you recruit. So just always remember that you're a quick learner too.
Never judge a book by its
You're a
cover.
quick learner too. So you just stay confident in yourself and your skills and what you do know, and let them know that you're more than capable, once trained, to do the job.
So when you're looking at people, was uneducated, got the job anyway, right? Was juvenile detention growing up, now working in the prison system. Uneducated, but landed in the prison system. So don't judge a book. Also, don't judge yourself, because you never know what decisions you're gonna make. But when you are in the midst of making those decisions, think them through. You guys think you have it bad right now? Your life's just getting started. Right now, you got the support of your school, hopefully family, friends. But when you graduate, your life's about to change. It's about to change. And you think, oh, I still got a couple years, but it's gonna come fast and furious. And you need to be prepared right now. High school is your playing field for life. You know that? The things that happen in high school are fueling you for your future. All the drama, the backstabbing, things that happen are preparing you for your future. When you walk into a job scenario, you've already experienced it in high school. Just think back to that situation and how you could have handled it differently. And I guarantee you this outcome over here will be different. It will be different. So education, there's more than one type, right? She's got lots of education. She's got street smarts. She's got a couple associates now. But there's also VOTEC. There's trade school. It doesn't have to be a 4-year degree. You can go get a 2-year degree. You can be an electrician. My daughter is a mortician. She went to mortuary school for 2 years. I have a son that's an electrician. He finished his trade. I also have 2 other biology majors in the family. One of my daughters works for FEMA. She works for national security. She's a trainer. My other guy is, he's the head of the entire Midwest for, FedEx. Entire shipping FedEx, with biology. What does that have to do with it? But they finished. What does that say? What does that say when you see somebody's got a degree? What do you think?
That they were committed to school, that they were able to achieve their goals.
Very good. Yes,
They took whatever opportunity they had.
they took the opportunity. That's right. They said yes. See, they said yes, they committed. But more importantly, they said yes to themselves, they committed to themselves, and they tried to get better. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is it doesn't matter how old you get, you're still gonna make mistakes. But you can overcome them by changing your mindset. That's why I go by the professor of change. I taught high school biology and chemistry for 3 years with my degree. Hated it. Hated it. And I had the degree, right? Thought I had to go in that field. The degree doesn't mean you have to go into that field. The degree is your sense of accomplishment. Do you have a degree?
Of course.
What is your degree?
Bachelor's in Science and Medicine, Master's in
Yes.
School of Administration.
That's right. So he's technically a scientist. Did you know that? Why are you a scientist?
In the STEM field,
That's right. Math is a science. Biology is a science. Chemistry is a science. Physics is a science. Organic chemistry is a science. It's all science, actually. Did you know that behavior is a science? How you think is a science? Your actions is a science. Any type of research is a science. So even if you're not going to go into the science field, you are all really scientists. And you know, here's the thing. When you start a new school year, day one, you are a straight A student. You have a clean record. You are a straight A student from day one. All you have is keep it. And that's your choice. That is your choice. So we're going to open up for questions. What you guys got?
I have a question for the young man that's going into police force, police department. What was your why for that?
What was my, I'm sorry?
Your why, because you seem to be right now the only one in the room that knows what you want to do next, has a plan. So what was your why? What made you go into that field?
Well, there are a lot of reasons. One, I want to dedicate, my life to the service for the country, and
That's a big
I wanna-
reason. That's
yes.
a big reason. Thank you.
of course, and I was always taught, by my father that if you see trouble, you're the only one that can face it if it comes to you, but always be that person to help eliminate those problems. And it's also something that, he wanted to do, but he never got a chance to, which he did get an outstanding career. I mean, he worked in the towing company for about 27 years, owns his own company now, but he knows he could have done better, and he's given me his knowledge to pursue something greater than more than what he could have accomplished. And not only that, I love defending, the communities.
Passion.
Yes.
I think that's beautiful. That's why I wanted to ask, because that's a very specific field that typically is, the drive is for helping other people. And that's another thing to keep in mind. That's why I asked. And thank you for sharing.
Yes.
It's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. You're honoring your father. You're stepping into your truth to serve. And no matter where you go and what field you're in, please know that you are serving somebody. You are serving somebody. So it's good to know what you're passionate about before you pick what your degree is going to be. Because you want to move into a field that you're passionate about.
This makes life a whole lot easier.
It will keep you happier in life. When you're happier in life, things are just gonna affect the people around you, your family, your household, and everything. But I thought that was a very special story, and just keep your why, and then reach out to me if we need to start to help you figure out who you are and why, because that's going to be so important for you as you attain these degrees and how you step out into the world. And there's going to be other people on the other side of the degree that you're serving. So please just always remember that Because I'm sure we've all been in an establishment, a business or somewhere where we've experienced someone who hates their job. And it's
And
very
it shows, it shows. But we witnessed that this morning a little bit. But you know, the other thing too is when you guys are, the reason why we do Becoming Best You is because of people just like you. We do the youth experience so maybe we can teach you how to change your life right now. To change that mindset into becoming better. It's just a choice day by day. And you're gonna make those choices for the rest of your life. But we took all of our tragedy and trauma and decided, enough, we're not gonna be those people anymore. We're gonna step up and be the person that I need to be, that I deserve to be, because you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. And when you do that, you're gonna see major changes. So who's got to ask some questions? Any questions?
anything about what I do, what I've been through, my past, I'll be happy to answer anything you're answering.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you attend any form of post-secondary education?
I did not. I did not. Again, I got associates in everything, so I ran my own daycare. I had a daycare, and that was because I had 3 children, and I couldn't afford daycare. So I always loved children. Again, find your passion. Because if I would have gone with my passion, I would have known I was an early childhood educator from the beginning. But my family said I needed this and that, and it needed to look this way. So, but I had my own daycare for 10 years and was offered to go a free associates in early child development, and that's actually, I started seeking more credit hours on that because it was a passion of mine. So, but to answer your question, no, I didn't. All your questions.
Absolutely. Experience in a job is also an education. Did you know that? You know, there are more people that go into the United States Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines. That's an education. Might not be in the classroom, but it is an education. It is an experience. And they do that because then they turn around and give you funds to go to college after you've completed those years. So if you're looking for discipline or you're looking for a way to get college paid for, it's a great place and it gets back to the country. I'm an Army brat, like I said, my dad was a colonel in the Army. You have to want to be military. So I'm not telling you to run out and do that. But if you need a way, the other thing is you've got something in your fingertips right now.
Yes.
You can take college classes while you're in high school. Did you know that? Some students I have seen have graduated high school with already working on their associate's degree. They are on year 2 of college. Wouldn't that be great? You're coming out and you're walking into the doors of college as a junior. Could you imagine that? Can you imagine the possibilities? And then you say, I don't have time for that. I gotta go party. I gotta go play with my friends. I need to go to the movies. I need to go hang out with my boyfriend. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. What do people think? I have a son who, a teacher called and she said, I don't know what's going on with Jake. He won't turn in his homework, but he's passing all his tests. The homework was done, it was wadded up in his desk. He didn't want his friends to know how smart he was, so he was happy making C's. But he was passing his test because he was doing the homework. Don't be that student. Who cares what anybody else thinks? They're not gonna pay your bills. They're not gonna live your life. In fact, they're just gonna make your life pure misery. Who cares about what their friends think? I'm not saying don't care about what they think. You wanna obviously care about them, but don't let them be your decision maker. That needs to be 100% you. And the other thing I want you to know is your parents really do care. They do. It's okay to tell them how you feel. If you don't feel that you can talk to them, talk to a teacher, talk to a counselor. There are people out here who want to help you get to where you want to be. And that's in anything. You just need to talk. You want to talk about hardships. They're going to be there for you. They are in education because they care. Does anybody in here want to go into education? Be a teacher? No? All right, we're going to open up for questions one more time and we'll wrap it up. You guys got to have some type of question. Yeah. What's your privilege? I do Becoming Best You full-time speaker, and we do the TV show, and we bring awareness to people that real change is possible, but only if you want it. Because if you don't want it, you don't need to change, then I don't need to be here.
I actually have another movement that aligns with becoming the best you, and it's called Activate Your Power Now in the Metro, and that's what I do full time along with becoming the best you. But with that movement, I host 2 events a month, one in Kansas City, Missouri, and one in Kansas City, Kansas, where I help again people learn to tap into their story and utilize that story to create the life that they want to live. So please, I'm begging you guys, see so many faces. I feel like I would love to connect honestly with each and every one of you outside of here and just see how I can help navigate you through your story, figure out who you are, because if you walk into who we are is going to change. So please don't think that if you figure out who you are now, that's who you're going to be in 5 years. You know, when you start diving into that self-work, yes, please go ahead.
Because we're gonna ask, what do you like, is it like writer's story? Or I don't know, is that actually really makes it the best?
Yes.
I don't know. And, well, because of the other classes we were, joining today, like many of them have, like, they say that they write down a lot of what they, like, their goals and stuff like that. And it's really interesting to me that you have the way you have so much to say and everything can be not concluded, but it can be more specified on different book.
Isabel does have a chapter in a book with a little bit of her story. I do have a book out, and she's currently working on it.
I'm working on it. It's going to be a series. I already know it's going to be called My Journey to Purpose, and there'll be different series in that book. And I'm still unpacking everything, and figuring out what the story really is. Because again, I was a victim for a long time. I had victim mentality. It was, I felt resentment toward my family for leading me down that path. And but again, I had to hit a place in my life. And I'll be really, I didn't plan on bringing this part up. We only got a couple minutes left, but what happened, another part of my story is, again, I got pregnant at 16, moved to Kansas with intention. I wanted to give my child a different life. I wrote down all the things. I knew everything I didn't want to be in life, but I forgot to set what I wanted to be. So I did my best. I broke a lot of cycles in my family, right? My kids aren't drug dealers. I'm not a drug dealer anymore and stuff, but I got really confident in that, and both of my 2 older sons, who are now 27 and 24, they're just coming out of a 10-year methamphetamine addiction. So both of my sons ended up homeless, on the streets, addicted to drugs, just living the life that I should have been living if I didn't change my ways, and I couldn't understand why they were going down this path if I taught them something different. But what I realized was that I wasn't being truthful with myself. I didn't teach them those ways, but because I didn't know who I was, and I didn't have a bigger why, a why in life, to say, this is what I want to do, and this is why, helping other people, that's a good why. That's usually, that's where I had to broaden my horizons. I had to say, I don't just want something for my family and me, I want to be something in the world to affect everybody's, right? So my why had to get bigger than my circumstances, my past, my feelings, it had to get bigger, like, why? Why do you want to do what you're going to want to creation to do? And just make sure that it's something you're passionate about, because that's how you're going to really be successful.
Thank you guys for having us. Go out and do great things. Be proud of yourselves. Be happy with who you are, and make the right decisions. Yes.
Can we get both of your names?
Yes. I'm Brenda, like the ring on your finger wood. Brenda Ringwood. I go by Bren. My website's brendaringwood.com, or you can just hashtag BTBY and you'll figure out where ComeChangeYourLife.com is at. And it'll tell you everything we do.
So Isabel, Isabel,
Yes.
Luz, Luz,
Mm-hmm.
Camacho, Camacho. Black is my married name. So that's how you can find me on social media, Isabel Luz Camacho Black. Or you'll see me as Busy the Intentional Healer, doing life on purpose with purpose. It was a pleasure speaking to you guys, meeting you guys. Please reach out, I would love to. And enjoy the rest of your day, and good luck, guys, with everything.
Give it a hand to the guys.